Yo, Carrot Tap podcast with myself, Daps. Guys, keep liking, subscribing, sharing, all of that good stuff. Guys, you know why I'm happy today, right? It's been a good week. In terms of even away from like the podcast and stuff like that. So, listen, guys, I've done one of the giveaways on my Instagram in terms of one of the Leon Balogun tops, the signed ones, and I'm going to give one away to one of my subscribers now here. So I contacted the person online. What they don't know, I contacted the person via DMs. What they don't know is that I'm actually going to give away 3. So I'm going to contact someone else via the DMs. And then I'm also going to contact one of my subscribers. I'm just going to @ someone in the comments. And when they see it, they see it. So if you want it, comment. And then I'll probably give it to someone that comments rather than giving it to like someone that subscribed to my channel like 3 years ago, but probably doesn't even watch my channel anymore. Yeah. Anyway, Premier League, stay humble. Stay humble, eh? So, listen, going into today's game, I was a bit nervous because Arsenal have this habit of having really good form. We've seen over the years, Arsenal being good form, and then when Man City come to town, it's like Man City just have this sort of hold over Arsenal. Granted, I think that's just the fan in me that is still traumatized from years gone by when Arsenal were really rubbish. But, over the last couple of seasons, we've bridged that gap because there was a time where City would just hit us with 4s and 5s just all over the gaff. But, we've bridged that gap. Obviously, at their ground earlier in the season, we could have won it, and if not for that last minute winner from John Stones. But going into this game, honestly, I was nervous, but not because of City, if I'm being honest. More so depending on which Arsenal show up. So when Arsenal, start the game as they do, and also that midfield, by the way, I liked it. I liked that he didn't go and put Partey right back, Marino. I didn't want him to experiment. Play your strongest team. Play the strongest team. Timber on the right, obviously. Saliba Gabriel. Lewis Skelly, I'm happy he was in. And why I'm happy is because his form and the quality he's been showing, he deserved it. He deserved it. I know he was rested midweek, but he deserved to keep his place. Even though Calafiori did well during the week. But that midfield of Partey, Odegaard and Rice is our best midfield. So I was happy to see that. And obviously we've got injuries, but Trossard, Martinelli, Havertz, I'm also okay with that. Cool. So when Arsenal started the game the way that they did, obviously got the goal, 4 minutes I think it was, pressured them high up the pitch, got the ball back. Havertz should have even, let me say this. Havertz, he didn't have he didn't have the confidence to take that first one on himself. So he passed it to Odegaard. Obviously, in the end, it was the right decision. But as a striker, that's you all day. You go in and you finish that off. But he didn't do that. So, yeah. And then it happened again later on, I think about 10 minutes later or something like that, where he should have buried it. We've won the ball back, high up the pitch again. It's just him right in front of goal, and he totally fluffed his lines. At that point, we know Arsenal need a striker. We know that. We know that Havertz isn't the answer long term to win us this league. And we know if we get a real out and out striker, we can go on and win that league. But not win the league, just win trophies in general. And make a real go of it in the second half of the season. But what I saw from Havertz in that moment, lack of confidence, and Jamie Carragher alluded that it was just a lack of quality too. And for me, I needed him to score today. Obviously, the goal came later on, but I needed him to score because if Arsenal had lost that game or drawn that game, that would have come back to haunt him. And fans are already on Havertz's back. Rightly so, wrongly so, we're not going to get into that right now. They're already on his back, and it would have just turned it up a notch, and it would have just brought unnecessary pressure on the team and on himself. So, yeah. I just felt like Arsenal just do this thing when they get a goal ahead and the half just kind of meandered out. to the point where Man City actually finished the half stronger. The last 10 minutes was all City because Arsenal just decided to take their foot off the pedal and just coasted through the game. David Raya had to make some top saves. Some top saves. And he's probably the best reactive keeper in terms of his quick reactions in the league. Maybe. Who else is there? Sells is actually quite good, but Sells like a really good keeper. In terms of those point blank reaction saves, I think he might be number one. But he had to make some real good saves. So the header, I think it was Vardio, and Savino had a chance where he just had to make those saves. So the warning signs were there that if Arsenal didn't back up their ideas, City would come out cool. Second half, Arsenal just didn't get going. And I remember I tweeted that, mate, Arsenal need to wake up. They need to wake up. But they did not wake up. And then Haaland goes and gets that goal, which I absolutely hate the fact that he got that goal. But he scored the goal. It just goes to show you what a top striker does, because Haaland, up until that point, had hardly any touches. In the first half, he had 6 touches of the ball. And 3 of them were like dispossessions and misplaced passes. Do you get what I'm saying? So, and he went 20 minutes in that first half without touching the ball. So, I was a bit annoyed with that, and at that point, I'm like, the whole Gary Neville, I'm like, oh gosh, what's going to happen? Are Arsenal going to fold? We haven't got started. City have got momentum now. They're going to keep going. And then, listen, 30 seconds in after the restart, Thomas Partey gets that ball from Phil Foden and he scores that deflected shot. What I did not like about that is that Gary Neville was trying to find every reason as to why Phil Foden gave the ball away. He was like, I think the referee got in his way, and that's why the pass got cut out. No, Gary Neville, he just gave the ball away and it was poor. It's okay to just say that. We don't always have to find excuses for Phil Foden. We don't always have to find reasoning every time he does something bad. It's okay to say it was poor, he lost the ball. You don't have to, maybe the referee was in the way. Because when they showed the angle that he had, clearly the referee wasn't in the way. It was just bad. And it's okay. It happens to everyone. But this Phil Foden thing that everyone's got going on, where if he has a bad game, there must be a reason for it. Or he's just had a bad game. Or 6. Do you get what I'm saying? But the moment he starts scoring against mid-table teams, Phil Foden, yeah. No. Before the match, they highlighted Phil Foden as a key player because of his form. But if you look at the form and the teams he's like been scoring against, yeah, this is the game you want to see Phil Foden come. But, pause. This is the game you want to see Phil Foden show up in. But his stats today were ridiculous, and he rightly so got dragged off. Rightly so. But anyway, Partey scores. And then the man himself, I think after that, it's annoying that Arsenal needed that goal from Haaland to wake up. Because after that, it was all Arsenal. It was literally all Arsenal. And obviously, Partey scored his goal. Now, Miles Lewis Skelly. I said on my Instagram that Miles Lewis Skelly is just, what makes him so good and promising is the fact that he's not even a left back. He's a midfielder. Through his academy years, he plied his trade as a midfielder. But now he's coming to left back and he's literally fits in so seamlessly. Now, the thing about him, he's just a good player. He's just a really, really good player. You could put him anywhere on the pitch and he'll do a job. He's just so good. And his ceiling is so high. And that's not me getting ahead of myself. That's not me saying, he's the best, he deserves it. No, because he's still young, he's still coming through. But I think it's okay to big up a youngster when we see them. Because too many times we see people downplaying how good a youngster is, especially when they play for Arsenal. But it's okay to say he really is that guy right now in terms of potential, in terms of actually doing the job currently. He is playing at a very high level. Now, what I love most about him is that he embodies that grit. He's got the arrogance about him, but he can back it up. It's not overconfidence. It's one where, no, I'm going to have fun with it. I'm going to lap this up, but I'm also going to mash work. I'm also going to do the work. So I would have had a massive problem if he was rubbing people up the wrong way and doing celebration if he wasn't doing his job on the pitch. But where he is doing his job on the pitch and doing it very well, so then go score your first senior goal and then celebrate, do the Haaland celebration. I almost lost my head because I'm loving that and I'm totally here for that. And if anyone's got a problem with that, they either hate Arsenal or they're just ugh. Yeah, absolutely loved it. And when he got subbed off and he got his standing ovation, it was deserved. It was 100% deserved. But anyway, he gets his goal, and then Havertz. I'm so happy, like I said, Havertz scored because it's mad. Gary Neville said something in commentary where it's just like he didn't have time for this one. It was instinctive. So because it was instinctive, I feel like when he has too much time, he will just mess up. But it's the instinctive ones when there's not really too long to think that he's able to just do what he needs to do and whatnot. But, you know, and then Nwaneri, yeah? You see that boy there? To think we've got Miles Lewis Skelly and Ethan Nwaneri. He's just got so much confidence for such a young player. He's got that thing about him where it's like you give him the ball and the stadium stands. The stadium wants to see like, oh, what's going on? You look at him, he can make something happen because he's got freedom to express himself. Do you know what I mean? He's still got that rawness where he's not so rigid in the system and he's still got that playground mentality, which Lewis Skelly has as well. And I absolutely love that. And the fact that he will come on and take ownership and want to make things happen and grab the game by the scruff of the neck, I absolutely love it. And it shows maturity beyond his years. And that finish, we've seen him do it a couple of times. Oh, he did it during the week as well. Cut in, bang. Cut in, bang. Listen, what a player. But yeah, I'm happy Arsenal needed that. I do think Liverpool are going to win the league. I've been saying it for a while, but in terms of not allowing the league to just peter out and still giving yourself a chance if Liverpool somehow do mess up, that was important because Liverpool don't look like they're slowing down. Liverpool are getting results even when they might not actually deserve to get the results. So, you know, that was a very, very important win. I'm loving the battle, like the fact that between the two teams, there's a real genuine dislike for each other. And it's okay, because when it's Arsenal, Man United, no one had an issue with it. There's teams that just have grown to have a rivalry, and it's okay to play into that. I think too many times we expect we expect players to not play into that. No, do it. So when I see Gabriel just pulling Haaland's shorts and celebrating in his face, I actually wanted Haaland to go and celebrate in Gabriel's face because that's what I'm about. I'm about that. Yeah, we don't like you. Like, this is what it means to us. So, yeah. One last bit on Lewis Skelly. His level of defending, considering he's not even like learned his trade as a defender, the level at which he defends and gets himself in the right positions is just really, really good. His intelligence as a footballer is, yeah. He's got a bright future. A word on City. I think City just need to write this season off, obviously, in terms of the league, but just make sure that they get Champions League football. That's going to be the big thing. I do think it's worrying how this is bigger than Rodri. You got players who are just not at it, you know, and this might just be one of those seasons where, you know, they take off and then we just get back to what we know next year. Do you get what I'm saying? And you know, you got a couple of players. You got Mamouche, you got Savinho, you got Doku, who's going to be, you know, who's still young, and you got players who have come in and need to, you know, get better. Basically, they're only going to get better. So, you know, this is just one of those seasons where it's just not for us. But to get pumped 5-1 and it was just bad from City today. It was just really, really bad. Misplaced passes, the same mistakes over and over again. Yeah, it was bad. It was bad. And they've got Real Madrid coming up in the Champions League as well. Good luck. But yeah. Now, what else should I talk about Liverpool. Let me talk about Liverpool. Listen, you see Salah, yeah? You see Salah. Salah is what Arsenal need. Just an out and out goal scorer. Someone that could just be the difference. Because yesterday I saw Bournemouth have chances to get back in the game or get the draw or even get the win. But when you've got a player who can just turn the game on its head like Salah does and just wrap one in and just like he's just a game changer. Do you get what I'm saying? And he wasn't even great during the game yesterday, but he doesn't need to be because he'll win you the game. And as long as Liverpool have those all over the pitch, I mentioned this before, you know, they've got people like Gakpo who become clutch when the team needs them. Obviously Salah, you got Luis Diaz, you got McAllister that will come up with something. You got Gravenberch who's just holding it down. And then you got the defense who, you know, Konate and Van Dijk together, it's crazy. You know, they perform at such a high level, and Van Dijk is obviously the one that holds it together. And you know, there was a part he had to chase someone. I forgot who it was. He made a mistake, and then he had to like run side by side with the person to get the ball back. And you could see he's still got the pace. So people like to talk about Van Dijk slowing down since the injury or whatever, but he's still got the pace. But he's so good that he doesn't get himself in the position where he needs to use his pace. Do you get what I'm saying? So, yeah, man, Liverpool, they don't look like they're slowing down, but you just never know. They've got, you know, in about a week, they've got Everton, which is their game in hand. I do expect them to win that game, though. But you just never know. And you know, it's the hope that kills. And in the back of my mind, I've got that hope that, you know, Liverpool will slip up and just lose like 2 games on the bounce and then just give Arsenal away in and then lose another one and then whatnot. But we will see. We will see. Chelsea play tomorrow. Oh, Man United. Man United. Listen, you see United? I watched that game today. Sorry. I watched that game against Palace today, and United just looked a bit toothless. And look, this is what I'm saying. You can have all the complaints you want about players, but Amorim, not to say he's bad or whatnot, like there's been some performances that United have done and he'll get the credit for, rightly so, but when he does things which are, you know, a bit like, you have to also pull him up on it. So starting Kobbie Mainoo as like that false 9 striker role, I was a bit confused by, because I've never seen him there. I don't know what he's showing you in training. We've just seen the other day how he played in that number 10 role and did really well. But you play him there without a striker against Palace, who have defenders that just want to, you know, they're strong. They've got pace about them. Like, you need a presence up there. You play him, and I felt that was a bit odd, because all game they didn't look like they had anything to trouble Palace with. And then, you know, it's the same old team, and in terms of the players. So I think the selections you can 100% look at. Martinez injury, hopefully it's not too serious. Martinez injury. I saw a tweet saying that it's ironic that Martinez goes around trying to injure everyone the whole season. He's the one that ends up with an injury. Like, you don't want to see people get injured and everything, but you know, yeah, you don't want to see people get injured. Hopefully he's it's not too serious. Hopefully, but listen, United are in deep trouble. You know, I watched that game and I thought Crystal Palace were going to win, like from the beginning. United are a team where I don't feel like United very rarely play well. I feel like a lot of their performances in terms of their wins and draws is dependent on how bad the other team play. You know, a team can play well against you, but you just play better, and the best team won on the day. I feel like that's not the case for United. I feel like United, if a team doesn't play well, it gives them that, you know, oh yeah, we can go and do something and whatnot. But they don't play well. And I read somewhere that Amarin said he's going to need 6 transfer windows. That's like 3 seasons. Is he going to get that? I don't know. I'm not saying he needs to go or anything, by the way, but you know, when managers do wrong, you have to correct them or call them out. When they do right, you praise them. But yeah, I think that's it for me. Transfer window. I actually thought the transfer window closed on Friday, but it's open till Monday, and it don't look like Arsenal are gonna make any signings. It's interesting that Arsenal were linked with Ollie Watkins, even though, to be honest, Arsenal do that thing where they know they're not going to get him, but it looks like, we're trying, and you know, it kind of makes the fans feel like, yeah, but the fans have seen it so many times. John Duran was going to Saudi. We knew that. Outside of that, you're not going to get a Champions League team to sell their main striker during the season when they're still in the Champions League. It just doesn't make sense. So, but what I would say is that Ollie Watkins, when I was watching Arsenal today against Man City, Ollie Watkins is, he'd be great for Arsenal, especially against teams like City who play a high line, but you've got a striker in Havertz who is not going to make that run. Ollie Watkins making that run all day long is problems, especially for a team like Arsenal. So, Arsenal, in terms of getting a striker, who is out there? You got Sesko, you got Gyökeres, you got Osimhen. But the thing is, which team is really and truly going to let their star striker go in January? It doesn't happen, especially the teams in the Champions League or fighting for a league. It just doesn't happen. So Arsenal probably know they're going to have to go and get a striker in the summer. But until then, I still want to see them bring in like a midfielder, not midfielder, sorry, like a winger, at least. Someone that can score goals and take the burden off Saka and Odegaard, because Odegaard hasn't not been good since he come back from injury. He was good today though. But yeah, honourable shout out to Martinelli as well. I know Martinelli gets a lot of stick for his output in terms of like some of the stuff that he does. But what I will say, yeah, is that he gets a lot of criticism, but since Saka has been gone, I do actually feel like he's been playing well, and he's been doing a lot of dog work. There's still loads of improvements to be made, but I just want to just say that as much as he gets the criticisms, when he does play well, when he does contribute and impact the game in a positive way, again, we know you can do more. When he does do those things, it's okay to be like, do you know what? Big up. Big up. So that's what I'm saying. I think that's it from me. If there's anything else I need to talk about, let me know. We're coming back. I might go live for the Chelsea match in the evening, actually. Let me know. Yeah, you guys will probably see this in the morning, so let me know. Peace.